We first came to know Karyn Bisdee in 1992 as the inaugural host of Action TV. Now 22 years later, she's still hosting as Karyn Fenton-Ellis. But it's not just in the studio where Karyn's excelled, out in the community and the arts and the racing fraternity in general. And it's so fitting that a woman that gives so much to so many people is today herself the recipient of one of New Zealand's highest honours.
Mrs. Karyn Fenton-Ellis of Ngaruawahia for services to the community, arts and racing.
Timaru to Government House via the globe. Can you believe this is going on?
Well, no, it was a very unexpected surprise when I got the letter last year, Mark, and no, I was overwhelmed but deeply honoured, and I feel very privileged.
Your resume that got sent through is quite intimidating, to be honest. You've been on some very big stages around the world. How big is this day for you?
Well, I think this day is probably the most significant. I mean, I feel very blessed that my honour recognises 3 areas of my life that I'm deeply passionate about. So it's the community, service to the community, service to arts and service to racing. But again, I'm very staunch in the belief too that this is not about just one person. I mean, it signifies and reflects on so many organisations and people that I've served with and worked with over the years that make an incredible contribution, not only domestically in New Zealand, but also internationally.
Mrs. Fenton-Ellis is the Director of Te Akau Racing in New Zealand and Singapore. She's been a trailblazer for New Zealand racing broadcasting as the inaugural presenter for Trackside TV and Radio Trackside.
I think it's an appropriate time to introduce one of the major attractions of this job, my co-host on Trackside, Karyn Bisdee. Hi, Karyn.
Evening, George, and indeed a night of great excitement and one that we've been looking forward to for a long period of time.
The hard question with someone a full life like yours, some highlights.
Oh. It is a hard question. It's a funny thing because, you know, often these days people say to me, oh, what do you do? I'm thinking, I'm not quite sure how I answer that question. Where do I start? I mean, Trackside has been a huge part of my life. I mean, 22 years now. I mean, that's almost not quite, but all of my adult life. And there's no question I would not be where I am today without the involvement that I've had through the channel, and you know, the camaraderie and the friendship and the support. I mean, George Simon would never forgive me if I didn't mention him here in Dispatches, but way back in the early days when I came into Action TV with a background in television and he came in obviously as the racing guru, a friendship that blossomed from there through mutual respect and support. And I think you and I both know what a close-knit team we all are there.
She was elected as chair of the Waikato Racing Club in 2013 and as a member of the New Zealand Thoroughbred Members Council.
So Karyn, what's the key to your success? Who's been the big influences in your life?
Great question. Undoubtedly my mother. I mean, at this time you have to say, I look back at my family and I had the most loving, encouraging, supportive upbringing. Mum was on her own and I'm an only child and we're very, very close. And she was the sort of woman that always inspired me and said that you can be what you want to be, you can do what you want to do. I mean, I had a raft of, you know, when I was young, I learned ballet, I learned the piano, speech and drama, you name it, you know, I did it. But she wanted me to find my pathway towards what my future would be. She's amazing, she's here today. Undoubtedly my late husband, he was the man that we didn't eat off the kitchen table for 2 years because it was covered in JC things and paperwork and you know, we were a young married couple, we had 2 young children, but his support still enabled me to be able to travel the world and be involved and commit myself to the organisation. Obviously my young daughters and David, you know, my new husband, he's been extremely involved and encouraging in what I do. But at the end of the day, I don't know, there's just a hunger inside that says, I look around at successful people, I look at people who are dedicated, they're passionate New Zealanders, they love their country, and I want to be like them. I want to do what I can do and contribute. And there's a whole raft of them, but family does obviously come first, and my incredible group of friends.
A member of JC, she's been both national president and world president. She was sponsorship manager for Tower Limited, where she implemented a number of arts sponsorships, including major works by Opera New Zealand, and was a trustee of the Arts Foundation of New Zealand.
And you do what you love and you love what you do, and racing's lucky. you're sticking with racing for a while?
Absolutely, yeah. I have no intentions. I mean, racing's in my blood. And as you know, I mean, David and the whole family, I mean, daughter Julie Rose, she works at the Auckland Racing Club. So it's actually just inherent in everything that we do. We live it, eat it, breathe it. But most importantly, it's about the people. And I've just made lifetime friends who I would walk over cut glass for. And vice versa. I know that they will be loyal and staunch to me for the rest of my life. So I'm a very lucky woman.
You're one of the younger people in there as a recipient too, so you've got a huge future as well. What have we got to look forward to?
Oh, I'm not finished with yet. No, once again, I think that if you are out there making a contribution, all sorts of opportunities always keep arising. You know, when I first got involved in JCs, I didn't want to change the world. I just wanted to be involved in my local city and make a contribution to my local community, my local town. And then that grew into making a contribution to New Zealand, and that grew then, as you know, to becoming world president and making a contribution on the world stage.
She's been National Director of Drug Abuse Resistance Education for the New Zealand Police and was the government-appointed NGO representative to the 4th World Conference on Women in Beijing in 1995.
It's a bit like a blossoming flower, really, because every step that you take, you may think, well, I don't make a difference, but one person can make a huge difference, and I think that it's up to each and every one of us to do something good that we can do for the betterment of others. I really do believe that.